Hi, I'm Susan Thompson, and my project is a set of workbooks and workshops that go together, and they're educational workshops for teacher training. See, every year, all over the United States, all public schools and a lot of the private schools are required to retrain their well-trained teachers every year. So they bring in workshops, they bring in service days. And you've probably been to workshops of your own before, and if you're a teacher, you know that they tend to repeat the same basic ideas. There hasn't really been a new revolutionary set of workshops for teacher training in years and years and years. And I know this just from personal experience. I remember I started teaching on the East Coast, and the seasoned teachers would complain bitterly after 5 minutes in a workshop, and I was thinking, just be quiet and let's learn something. And I, as a new teacher, would feel like they just want me to work harder and harder, and I'm working at the top of my game right now. And then I was out of the teaching community for more than 10 years, and then I started back teaching again. I was in a totally different state, whole different part of the country. I went in and sat down on a workshop, and guess what? They were teaching me the same thing that they taught in my first year with different tag names on it. So this is a common experience for educators. But as you know, our education system is in crisis right now. Kids are not learning. We don't quite know why. We got a lot of, people willing to point out the problems, but we don't have a lot of solutions. So my project is the solution. The solution. So it's a set of workshops where I would go into the schools and do this teacher training, but it targets the solution to the real problem. And here I'm just going to summarize as quickly as possible the root of the problem. The root of the problem right now is that today's children are growing up with technology that today's teachers never even dreamed of. They grow up with their lives inundated with these things. And if you go online, and I know you do, you realize very quickly that there is more information than you can possibly use. Too much information is the problem today. So when kids go to school and we try to teach them to memorize or learn, if you will, information, they won't do it because they have learned by the time they reach school age, they have learned to stop the brain from memorizing factoids and information that don't connect to anything because there's too much of it out there. They've learned to systematize. A child learns how a computer thinks, and then the child can learn any software just like that. You and I are still trying to learn the factoids, and it takes us longer. So I'm going to train the teachers to teach the way kids think today, the way the brain operates. Get kids working, solving problems, getting creative, getting out of the box, because that is exactly what 21st century workplace is looking for, is demanding, because we're figuring out new technology daily that's going to eliminate that kind of thing. So what we need is on-the-ground thinking, people who can problem solve, people who can think, people who can get creative, start their own business, think beyond the teacher. And so today's students are sort of only allowed to learn as much as the teacher knows. That won't work, right? That's a broken system. So you can be part of the revolution.
Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. While they're standing in welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. Poor people gonna rise up, get their share. Poor people gonna rise up, take what's theirs.
Okay, so I'm going to just show you a brief demonstration of how the thinking is different in my workshops than what we're used to thinking, the thinking and the teaching. So just math, let's take math because that hasn't changed in a million years, I think. So anyway, you remember basic arithmetic, and I remember basic arithmetic, and what you probably remember is that's the fun math. That's when math was easy and fun, and we all liked it. Well, and they taught it like this. They have little manipulatives, little things you can handle, and you can see 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. You can see it. You can touch it because, kids love to touch, and so do I. It never goes away. And you can move them around, and you can see for sure, oh, sure, now that's 3 and that's 3. So sure enough, 2 plus 1 really is 3. You can see it. It's real. Okay, and then let's cut from the fun, easy math. That was the way they taught it. That was fun and easy. That made it fun and easy. Now let's fast forward to algebra, which was what? Fun? Easy? No! Algebra sucked. I mean, algebra was not fun, and algebra was when you started to say, when am I ever going to use this in real life? And I'd probably be willing to lay some money that as smart as you are now, you probably don't use a lot of algebra. It's probably not because it's not useful. It's probably because of the way you learned it. Okay, so I'm going to teach you algebra, the basics of algebra, using the same kind of fun method. Okay, so let's say this equation is equal to that equation. You can see that's true, right? You can see it just like you could with the simple arithmetic. Now, I'm going to change something up. I'm going to say, now this is equal to that. Now you tell me, using your manipulatives, tell me what has changed. Tell me in erasers what the change is. And you would eventually, you may have already guessed, you may have already known. It's easy, right? It's fun. Of course, the difference is this equals that. That's what you've learned. And this is algebra. And you can say that, this is x, and this is, this is 2x, and plus 5, times, 3. Or you can make it more complex, and each of these are parenthetical. These are parentheses with very complex operations in the inside, but this is still your x. And the process is still the same. One thing, x, is equivalent to one thing over here, and all you have to do is work it down till those two are alone, and you've got your answer. And that's how all algebra works. Fun and easy. Woohoo!
Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds.
Good. All right, well that's basically it. You got the idea. I could talk forever about it because I'm writing books, right? I'm writing workshops, a whole series of it. And you can read below. You can see what kind of things I have in the workshops. Thought about this for a long time. I've been writing it for a long time. And I just want to thank you for watching my video, and I want to thank you for sponsoring me and starting a revolution. I got a lot of great rewards for you that are going to get you involved in this in a big way. And if you want to just click on my Facebook, click on my email, write me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn. Write me your ideas too, especially if you're in the classroom or especially if you're a student, all right? And we'll make this revolution reality. Thank you.